voice changes. He moves from what's happening at that time to a nation that was thrilled that they got their own king, that was grateful for David and for his household. But it's moving to the future. It moves prophetic here. We go to verse 7. This is now looking to the future. I will proclaim the Lord's decree. He said to me, "You are my son. Today I have become your father." Verses 8 and 9. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. You will break them with a rod of iron. You will dash them to pieces like pottery. Israel was often thinking of King David, their anointed one, this bright young star who God blessed and was using. But this promise is too great, and the inheritance is far too vast for any earthly king. And they realized very quickly, this is not just about David, and it's not just about Israel. This is about the Messiah, the anointed one that God would send. The voice moved from narrating what God has been doing to declaring that God has promised to send us his leader, his ruler. Even David understood this. In 2 Samuel chapter 7, we have this incredible promise given to David for all of Israel and for all of us. You might remember towards the end of David's life, he recognized how blessed he was. He sat in this house that was awesome. And it's bothering him that God doesn't have a beautiful place like he has. I think this is a very holy desire on David's part to build a house. But God's reminding him, look, I don't need a place. It's all mine. The house that you think you're sitting in, that's mine. And even if you try to build something for God, as beautiful as we want our buildings to be, as wonderful as we want the art to be, none of it can capture his glory. There's no building that human hands can create that's worthy of his presence. Every single time he comes back, whether it's in the tent, whether it's in the wilderness, whether it's in Fellowship Baptist Church and meets with us, he is always condescending to be with us, and he does that out of grace and love because we call out to him, because he's that wonderful to us. But he wasn't sitting there saying, where's my house? Why aren't you building these things for me? David sets out to build a place for him. And in 2 Samuel 7:11, and remember that even the prophet thought, well, David, that's a good idea. You should do that. And then God goes to him that night and says, no, don't do that. It's not what I want. So he goes back and he gives this incredible promise to David. The Lord declares to you that the Lord himself will establish a house for you, David. You don't need a house for me. It says, when your days are over and you rest with your ancestors, I will raise up your offspring to succeed you, your own flesh and blood, and I will establish his kingdom. He is the one who will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Well, we could still read that and think, is that Solomon? Because Solomon got to build the temple. Let all doubts be pushed out of your mind in verse 14. I, says God, will be his father, and he will be my son. When he does wrong, this is the hard part. When he does wrong, I will punish him with a rod wielded by men, with floggings inflicted by human hands. Christ Jesus did no wrong, but took all of our wrong upon himself. And let human hands punish him in our place. Verse 15, but my love will never be taken away from him, as I took it away from Saul, whom I removed from before you. Your house and your kingdom will endure forever before me. Your throne will be established forever. You know why we know that's not about Solomon? Solomon's throne was not established forever. There are many, many years where there is no one from the line of David until a virgin is visited by an angel hundreds of years later. And God fulfills this prophecy, this Son, this Messiah he's sending to us. See, Christ Jesus is the one already being pointed to in Psalm 2. He is the one that our hearts look towards. He receives all the rewards in the end. It is all for him. The nations are his. The earth to its ends is his. Justice and power are his. So what do we do? We've been given this incredible truth. He rules. He is reigning over all. It's all his. How do we respond? You want to respond wisely? Surrender to him now and find out how wonderful he is. Verses 10 through 12 at the end of Psalm 2. So now, kings, be wise. Open your eyes, see the truth. Be wise. Receive instruction, you judges of the earth, and serve the Lord with reverential awe and rejoice with trembling. Pay homage to the Son. He will be angry, and you will perish in your rebellion. For his anger may ignite at any moment, but all who take refuge in him are happy or are blessed. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. This is the only right response. And this is the great joy. I found surrendering my life, my will, even my dreams and my desires before his feet. I found joy. I found purpose. I found hope, and I found healing that nothing else provided. It is only in Jesus that we find this. And this is what's hard. We want to write our own script. I want to control my own destiny. I want to build my own fairy tale. And you are free to do that in your imagination. That's what's great about writing. Marie's a writer. You can envision anything you want. Have fun with it in your imagination. Because in reality, and better than our imagination, is we have a king who is wonderful and who is awesome and who has glory that this world could never hold, awaiting to be shared with all of us. This is how wonderful and gracious and awesome he is. And so it's our privilege now to love him and to seek him and to surrender to him and to serve him. I don't know what you want your life to be about. A lot of people choose family. A lot of people choose their job. They